Now this is something straight out of a sci-fi movie. It looks about as futuristic as it can get. A basketball with holes? It doesn't need any air? Are you kidding me? These new balls are insane, and I can't wait to get my hands on one of them. Okay guys, before jumping into today's video, don't forget to stay until the end to find out all the latest information on these new basketballs. Also, smash that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying it. Without further ado, let's get into the video. To be honest, basketball is America's favorite sport. With millions of fans and insane wealth, the league is on a whole new level. But as far as technology and advancements are considered, it's a big question mark. This is a department where the league needs some serious attention. Now, let's get to the main topic. In 1881, James Naismith introduced an indoor game called basketball. But at that time, there were no special balls, so a soccer ball with a football lacing was used instead. But then, in 1894, Naismith felt a need for a special ball. So he contacted A.G. Spalding and Bros. To create a new special kind of ball for the game of basketball. This was the start of a long journey, the way basketball evolved and became what it is today. Basketball has improved a lot as a game, but there's one thing that needs more attention than ever. Yep, we're talking about the ball itself. I mean, we're so obsessed with Ja Morant's emphatic dunks and Steph Curry's three-point shooting that we've never thought that the balls need attention too. They need to be revolutionized. Guys, from the first ball that had laces, all the way to the ball that was used by King James to surpass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the highest point scorer, there hasn't been much work. Now, it would not be fair to say that the balls haven't changed. I mean, they have changed over the years, but the change has been very minimal. It could have been so much more. The overall build and look have been the exact same, and I still think there's a lot of room for improvement. Now, I think that you guys would be shocked to hear that the ball we use today was introduced in 1983. Dear God, that was a year before Michael Jordan made his debut. It's been 40 years since then, but the ball hasn't changed one bit. What a joke! The NBA should look at FIFA. Those people have changed the outlook of football. Who would have thought a chargeable ball? And that's just the start. These balls were a work of art. From real-time tracking to assisting the referees, Adidas did a brilliant job. So NBA, when? When are you gonna do something similar? Oh, sorry guys, I guess I forgot a very important piece of information. In 2006, the league tried some innovation when they introduced a new microfiber ball. But yeah, things went a little bit off track. A little? Oh my God, it was a disaster! The ball was a colossal failure. It had less bounce, and it was rough when dry and slippery when moist. If you don't trust me, go ask LeBron, because my man lived that era, and it was a horrible experience for the players. These guys then stood up and spoke out against the use of this new microfiber ball. It was after this outcry that the NBA commissioner, David Stern, announced that he was reinstating the old balls. These newer ones were a mistake. Jeez, thank God my guy accepted this as a mistake. And since then, the NBA has been a little too cautious when it comes to the balls. It's been 17 years since these came out. And now, we're bored. We want to change. So it was in 2021 when Wilson took charge of Spalding, and fortunately, they agreed with my point. I'm only joking. But yeah, they had no plans to stick to the script. Rather, they wanted to change the way basketball was played, and after 5 years of extensive research, Wilson introduced the brand new airless basketballs. Oh my God. And after an unending wait, we did see the prototype, and it was sick. It was revealed in the 2023 Slam Dunk Contest, where Kenyon Martin Jr. was seen dunking with it, and it seemed fun. Later on, Wilson released some of their own videos as well. But one thing that has troubled me is the holes. I mean, I can't get a hold of them. I mean, if a normal regulation ball gets a hole, it's RIP, but this one is full of hexagonal-shaped holes. And the cherry on top? It's airless. So how on earth does it bounce? Does it have any micro springs? Or maybe it's some sort of nanotechnology? Jeez, man, I just want to know. Wilson does not think that these holes are a problem. They look at them as a feature. You know, sometimes it feels more of a hole than a ball, and yet it's said to bounce and respond like a regulation ball. Man! So, what are the physics involved? Like many of the airless tire concepts that we've seen, Wilson's airless ball maintains its bounce using a highly engineered elastic structure instead of pneumatic pressure. In this case, the company went with a series of hexagonal holes arranged into a 3D lattice, while also replicating the typical binding pattern of the older leather ball, so players can get their fingers into the seams as usual. And it weighs as much as a normal basketball. So now the question arises, how the heck is it made? Now, you're going to be blown away by the fact that these can be 3D printed. The printing process is fun. You put in a powder, the printer prints the ball, then you grab the ball and shake off the extra powder. And boom, you're good to go. You'll never have to carry a pump again, because it doesn't need air. But no way, man. Don't get too excited, because these can only be printed using SLS, a special laser printer. This printer isn't something that you find very often. So yeah, don't go out buying 3D printers thinking you could be the next basketball supplier. Now, with great new inventions can come great new troubles. These balls are fancy and futuristic, but how practical are they? This raises our first question. How will these balls fare outside? There are so many holes. What if debris, small rocks, and dirt gets inside? What would be the solution, and how would it affect the ball? Cause it's pretty obvious that small particles would seem to get into everything, and these balls would be no exception. It's not something extremely serious, but at least it's something to consider. Now, this next problem is serious. The ball has a lot more air flowing through it, and we don't know how that will perform during the long shots. Cause, you know, air can have a huge impact on the trajectory of the ball, and the ball might end up in the stands instead of the hoop. So if Steph Curry misses his first three-pointer with the ball, you know where the blame is going. Moving on to the next issue, and that is the bounce. We don't know whether this ball is going to bounce like a normal leather ball, or will it have some kind of different bounce? I mean, landing on the holes or landing on the solid part might have a different impact. It's something that the labs are testing, and according to them, this is not going to be a problem. I suppose we can just trust them and take their word. Cause this testing is something that sticks out. Honestly, it's pretty vague. Being tested in the labs isn't good enough. The best way to test the ball is to hand it over to the real guys, the NBA players, because they're the ones who are supposed to handle these balls. And as far as I can recall, the 2006 microfiber ball was also tested in the labs, and then after a month in the league, it was chaos. As of right now, these balls are being tested at the Ohio facility, and it's about time we know how strange these balls will fare in the practical world. But one thing that might trouble every baller is how the surface area could affect the grip. In the NBA, every little detail of the ball has an impact on the game. The greater the surface area, the better the grip. So if the ball doesn't provide a good enough grip, it's game over. The list of pros and cons just goes on and on. But, to be honest, there's one facet of these new balls that you might not have thought about. The sound. The sound these basketballs will make might be very different from what we've been hearing for the last 60 seasons. This sound gives us nostalgia, cause, you know, vibes do matter a lot. So I think it's pretty important if the ball sounds like a normal basketball. And lastly, the feel of the ball. The 2006 ball was a mess because it was causing cuts and bruises on the hands of players. It was to the extent that playing had become painful. But what does this new ball hold in store? I guess we'll only know once it comes out and we get our full hands-on experience. But to test it, you're gonna have to buy one first, right?
Yes.
So now here comes the exciting part. The price of this ball. Now let me give you a spoiler. You are not gonna like it. The new Wilson ball will be sold anywhere between $200 and $270, as compared to the old Wilson ball, which is now being sold for $200. Well guys, that's it for today's video. Don't forget to dunk on that subscribe button and leave your feedback down in the comments. Stay tuned because every Monday we're dropping a brand new video. Until next time, take care.